Okay, so we've just taken a look at the Frontline site, and as you know, we've been helping dealers buy and sell their aged used Frontline units for just over 9 years. And then about 4.5 years ago, dealers started asking if there's anything we can do to help them with their fresh trades. And so we started a secondary site, and we are doing something that no other auction is doing. We are selling cars as is from you, but guaranteed as described by us. Now, I'm going to give you an example of how if you change your processes, the huge impact it can have not only on you, but also on your store. What we do is we send out ASC certified mechanics to your lot. They're going to do full condition reports on your cars. They're going to test drive them through all the gears. They're also going to pull any engine codes. They're going to check the IM monitors. They're going to look for water in your oil, any oil in your radiator. They're going to take about 20 to 30 pics. They're also going to paint meter every panel. They're really going to spend about 40 minutes on your car, and then they upload all of this data to our site. Our auction runs on Mondays from 2 to 5 p.m. We have about 2,500 registered buyers. We run about 1,500 trades per week. Now, let me ask you, do you get paid on wholesale profit? Okay, great. And where are you currently running your cars now? Okay, and are you running them as is or guaranteed or a combination of both? Okay, well, I'm going to explain to you how we are different than any other auction walking in here. All right, let's say that we have two identical cars here. Let's say they're BMWs, 2013 with 100,000 miles. Both of them might have check engine lights on. Now, these are very high risk cars for independent dealers to bid on. Typically, you might have 5 to 10 people in lane looking at the cars. It's very hard to get any simulcast participation, and less than 4% of any cars sold as is are purchased by the online bidders, and that's because they can't hear the engine knocking, they can't see any of the blue smoke coming out of the back. Now, if these cars both run in lane and MMR is $7,000, maybe you'll get $5,500, and that's because the in lane bidders have no idea what's wrong with the cars. They can't test drive them, so they really don't know that there's any difference. Okay, with us, it's a very different story. Let's say this first car has a bad transmission. Let's say the air is blowing warm. When we broadcast this to our buyers and our bidders, this car is going to do terrible. It might only bring $4,000. Now, that car needs to stay right where it is, right in the lane, and hope that a bidder puts his hand up and makes a mistake on this car. Okay. Now, this other car, it still has life left in it. It drives great. The engine code might just be an O2 sensor, which is a quick fix. The air is blowing cold. Now, when we broadcast that live to our 2,500 buyers, more people can participate and bid on this car than just the 5 or 10 guys standing in lane looking at it and as is unit. Okay, because when we broadcast this live, we might be able to bring $7,500 to $8,000. When we reduce the risk to the buyers, they can pay much more for your car. Also, when we open up the closet doors and we show the skeletons, it gives the confidence to step up on this car, and the bidders know what it's going to take to be fixed. Now, we stand behind everything we say about a car. Because of that, our 2,500 registered dealers in California, now Arizona, and Nevada have the confidence to bid. The car is being sold as is from you, but guaranteed by us. And that's a huge fundamental difference. Last year, our company, CarWave, paid $1.3 million in arbitrations, and the sellers didn't pay a dime. And that difference translates to more money for you and your store. Now, I think you'd agree that the world is going online, and this is the evolution of how fresh trades are going to be sold in the future, correct? Right. Wouldn't you also agree it's much more efficient for a car to go straight to the buyer than have to go from you to the auction house and then to the buyer and rack up unnecessary transportation fees and costs? Right. Now, also, imagine you're an independent dealer. Wouldn't it be much more efficient for you to review 1,500 condition reports, certified ASC reports from the comfort of your own office, looking on your laptop there at your shop, as opposed to going to the auction, having to spend half a day looking and walking the cars and trying to find which ones have the bad problems? Right. Now, let me give you the side benefit of the online auction. You don't have to worry about any lane placement. There's no selfies. There's no inspection fees. You don't have to worry about bad run numbers or lot damage. You don't have to worry about anybody tampering with your car or sabotage or stolen parts. Okay, those are all the things that happen at physical auctions. Now, I want to take you to our website here and let me show you what this looks like when we go to our watch list. Okay. I picked out a couple cars I want to show you. Look to the right of this screen here. Do you see all these faces? During a live auction, these faces will flip back and forth, the high bidder. So it really gives it an in-lane feel, okay? People are pounding on their chest. They're trying to win cars, and it really gives a nice presence. Now, let's go down all the way here. Let's take a look here at this '05 Lexus. Okay, now I want you to help me appraise this car. It's an '05 Lexus GX with 137,000 miles on it. Let's go ahead and open the window pictures up here. Let's look at some additional photos. This shows the moonroof is in-op. This shows the front door has a heavy scratch. This shows the rear door is scratched. The quarter panel is scratched. The windshield is chipped. Also, the hood is chipped. The bumper has a chip in it. Heavy scratches in the rear bumper, heavy scratches in the fenders, ding in the bumper. Side mirror has a big scratch down the middle. The front seat is worn. The rear seat is worn. The passenger seat is wearing out as well. It's missing the second row and the third row in the middle. All right, but let's look down here. It's got one open recall, no frame damage, drives well, shifts well. It does have a little bit of an engine knock, so let's listen. Okay, you can hear a little bit of it there. It is pulling a code for the control system, the ABS control system. Everything else here, these green checks will allow you to digest our 40-minute condition report, usually in under a minute, okay? Here again, we're caution sign, the moonroof's in-op. Here's the photos that we just looked at. Tires look like they're in good condition. The interior photos we saw, no dash lights, no smells. All right, so this car books at about $8,500. Maybe it's going to cost $1,500 in shop costs. What would you take this car in for? Okay, and is this something you'd keep, or you'd probably send it to the auction and run it as is? Okay, so if you took it in for $7,000, what would you be happy to get for it? $7,500. All right, let's see what this one brought. This one actually brought $9,600. Okay. Again, when we broadcast the life that's left in the car, it gives the bidders confidence to step up on this unit. Let's take a look at this other '09 Silverado. Okay. Again, help me appraise this one. Let's open it up and see what the damages are and the additional photos. This one has a bedside ding. Tailgate is bent. Scratch on the hood. Broken bumper. Bedside has a heavy scratch. There's also another scratch on the bedside. Front seat is ripped. Front seat has also got stains. We've got aftermarket wheels on it. Aftermarket intake. All right. When we look down, we've seen it's been inspected. There's one open recall. It drives well. It shifts well. Okay, it's got an IM monitor for the EVAP system. Everything else checks out. No prior paint work. No dash lights, does have a foul odor. Okay, so again, we're looking at $1,200 to $1,500 in recon maybe on this unit. It books out at $9,300. Would you try to keep this unit? No, probably not. You wouldn't get it through the shop. Okay, well, if you took it in, what would you pay for it? $7,500. That seems like a reasonable take there. What would you be happy to get for it selling it at the auction? $8,000 maybe? Okay, well, let's see what this one brought. This one brought $12,700, okay, almost $3,000 over the book. Okay, when we broadcast the life that's left in this car, people know it drives well, shifts well. They might have somebody that can do their conditioning cheaper. That reconditioning can be done pretty cheaply, okay? Let me also take you up here and show you one of our sellers. His name is Mark Norden. He's at Mercedes-Benz of Ontario. He does well with a lot of his cars. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this. Let's take a look at this Mercedes-Benz here. All right, here's a Mercedes-Benz 2017 with 143,000 miles. When we take a look here, we've got additional photos. So you see there's some scratches on the cargo door. The bumper has a heavy scratch. The quarter panel has a dent. The rear bumper is broken on this one. Cargo door has a heavy scratch. And there's some scratches there in the cargo floor. All right. It's been inspected. There's 3 open recalls, drives well and shifts well. There's some codes here for the turbo boost being low. Most everything else checks out. No dash lights, no odors. Okay, this car books at $10,200. Let's see what he got for this. This car brought him $12,400. Okay, again, when we open the closet and pull back the curtain, people can see what it is going to take to fix this car. The fact that it runs well and drives well is the important part. All right, let's take a look at one other one here. It's going to be an 04 Acura. Let's take a look at this. All right, we've got an 04 Acura with 185,000 miles. This is definitely an as-is car. All right. We can take a look, drives well, shifts well, no engine noises. It's got 2 codes there for sensor failure. All right, power locks, 2 of them don't work. It does have quite a bit of extensive exterior damage, but all that is noted with the inspection. Okay, it does have some acceptable prior paint work disclosed. Needs a couple of tires, well, it needs 4 tires actually. And there's some interior damage. Let's take a look at that console. That's broken. All right. It does have some dash lights on for a couple of reasons. All right. So other than that, this car books for $2,100. We've disclosed everything. We've shown the life left in it. And this car actually brought $3,200. Okay. A couple of things I want to point out here. Do you see this hot seller tag? When a seller is selling more than 65% of the cars that he received bids on, he's considered a hot seller. Okay, that's important because that's the same thing as lane placement. Bidders know that you're going to be selling the car. Now, not every single car is going to break the bank, but we are creating an environment for cars to do well. Okay, now let me go ahead and I also want to show you this here at the bottom of the posting, reserve met. Best practice would be to set your reserves for the least amount of money you're willing to take for the car. When that appears earlier in the sale, that gives the bidders confidence that the car is going to be sold. Also, if they're flooring and they know how much they have to spend, it's going to allow them to maybe hit that car 1 or 2 more times. Okay. We also want to advise that you log in to watch the sale at about 4:50. You can see the faces flipping. You can see who's bidding on your cars. Now, we're not going to do well with everything, but we are going to do well with the cars that still have life left in them. Now, we think there's a big difference between major mechanical and reconditioning, right? Major mechanical issues are going to be rod knocks, maybe a slipping transmission, and we're not going to do well with those cars. We're not going to do well with in-ops or $500 pieces of junk. But we will do well with cars that have life left in them, and we're going to broadcast that life because when we reduce the risk to buyers, the buyers can pay more for your money, okay? So I want to also take you up here and show you another benefit of the online auction. Once the sale is over, you have the ability to print your sale nets. As we scroll up here to the top, we have the option to print our cell nets. So I'm going to go ahead and customize this report for the month of March. We're going to view those. Now there's some important information here. This is letting you know the seller, which would be you. And also, when you sell a car, it's important to send us a title You're going to be paid within 48 hours of us receiving the title. So you don't have to worry about chasing around any independents. We also arrange transportation for all the units, so you don't have to worry about any dealers coming to your lot looking for the cars. You don't have to wait on the auctions to print and send you your cell nets. I want to point out to you here that the amount that the car was sold for is the amount that you receive. There's no sell fee and there's no inspection fee. Okay. Now also look how far away these buyers are coming from. He's got buyers up and down the coast, Bakersfield, Sacramento, all the way down to Newport Beach. Okay. Much broader buyer base than just the 5 or 10 guys that are standing in lane if you were to be selling at a physical auction. Okay. Now, anytime you sell a car in lane that still has life left in it, you're leaving money on the table. The process that most of my dealers follow, we send out inspectors Thursday through Monday. You let me know which day is good for you. It can be the same day each week. It can be twice a week, whatever works. I'm going to call you for the car count, and then we are going to do the rest. The inspectors are going to come out, let's say, for example, on a Saturday. We'll run the car on Monday. We would want you to sell anything that makes sense. And anything that doesn't sell, of course, you can sell it downstream like you normally would at the physical auction. All right, so we're going to dispatch all the transportation. We're going to pay you as soon as we get the docs, and of course we're insured by AIA, the largest auto auction insurance company. So this is just like having your very own auction. Everything is right here on your PC. You can sell cars, you can counter the bids, you can print your cell nets, you can watch the auction and see the money coming in. There's no downside for you. It costs you nothing. You continue to stock the shelves, and we're going to continue to register the buyers. We are the fastest growing auction in California online. We're listing anywhere from 1,400 to 1,700 fresh trades a week. This is really a 100% value add to your store, and we've impacted more UCM's paychecks than any other auction. So Craig, can you tell me what you think about the idea? It does make a lot of sense. How many trades do you have, and what day would I come out and get inspected? Okay, great. I'll tell you what, if you have any other frontline units you'd like to throw on the site as well, I'll get those inspected for you too at no charge. Okay, great. The last thing we just need to do, I want to go over a rule sheet with you here briefly.